What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Parlay Buddy Show. We are here for the NFL Week 12 free premium picks of the week. Hope you all had a wonderful Thanksgiving. Hopefully, you're still not in a food coma on your couch. You've obviously found us on YouTube, so you got to be doing at least all right. Before we get into this week's video, just want to take a minute to remind you of all of the awesome features that you can find on parlaybuddy.com. We have sports articles, we have a profitability calculator, we have daily fantasy sports tools powered by StatShark, and we have the YouTube video that you are watching right now. In addition to all of that, you can also find us on all of these social media networks: Facebook, Reddit, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. So, without further ado, let's get into your Week 12 picks. The first game we're going to look at this week is the Browns versus the Buccaneers. The line for this game has been set at 43, and on that line we are taking the under. The Browns have scored 23 or less points in half of their games this season, and they have also scored 20 or less points in 3 of their last 5. Their offense is kind of struggling. There's not a lot going for them. Nick Chubb, supposed to be the workhorse of the offense, has been struggling. He has only rushed for over 100 yards once in their last 5 games. He's also coming off of a 19-yard performance last week. So if he's not going, that offense really isn't going. I don't see them scoring a lot of points going into this week. On the other side of the ball, the Buccaneers have only hit the over twice on the entire season. They're averaging 18.3 points per game. They're last in the league in terms of rushing yards per game. They have scored 21 or less points in 8 of their last 10. They have also only scored 2 touchdowns or less in 8 of their 10 games this season. There's not a lot of points that are going to be found between these two teams. 43, you're looking at it's not a high-scoring game by any means, but the way these offenses are playing right now, we just don't see that happening. So as we said, we are taking the under on the 43-point line. Our second game we're going to take a look at this week is the 49ers versus the Saints. This line is also set at 43 points. However, on this one, we are taking the over. The 49ers are averaging 23.6 points per game this season. They've scored over 22 points in 7 of their 10 games, and they have hit the over in 4 of their last 6 games. They've scored 3 touchdowns or more in half of their games this year. And since they've acquired Christian McCaffrey, they are averaging 28.5 points per game. They've moved from their 1-2 start. They are 6-4 on the season, not a super spectacular record, but they are trending in the right direction, and they do have deep playoff aspirations, and they have the high-powered offense to go with it at this point. So any defense that's going to slow them down is going to have a hard time. They're already going to score a decent amount of points as it is. On the other side of the ball, the Saints are averaging 22.6 points per game, respectively. They do allow 24.3 points per game, which against a high-powered offense like the 49ers, you're going to be expecting the 49ers to probably clear that mark. They have hit the over in 6 of their 11 games so far this year. They have scored 3 or more touchdowns in 6 of 11 games. They've also scored over 24 points in 7 of 11 games. They are coming off of a stretch 2 weeks ago and the week prior where they actually scored 23 total points in 2 weeks. But the last time they did that this season, their next 5 games, they came out and averaged 29.6 points per game. And I don't see why, with the way their schedule's set up, that they won't kind of bounce back into that offensive scenario. So on this game, we are taking the over with 2 pretty high-powered offenses in terms of what they can score. And last, but certainly not least, we take a look at the Eagles versus the Packers. The line on this game has been set at 46, and on that line we are taking the under. So far this season, the Eagles have hit the under in 4 total games. They have scored 21 or less points in 2 of their last 3 games. We just saw them suffer their first loss a couple weeks back. Last week, we saw them narrowly escape the Indianapolis Colts in a 17-16 game. The offense is kind of in a rut right now. The defense, on the other hand, though, is still playing really well. The defense gives up an average of 18.3 points per game. On the other side of the ball, the Packers are only averaging 18.4 points per game. Their offense, by their usual standard, is absolutely down in the dumps, so to speak. They have hit the under in 6 of 11 games and scored 21 or less points in 7 of 11 games this year. Not something you normally expect from an Aaron Rodgers-led offense. A lot of young receivers trying to find their way. Christian Watson has really stepped up the last couple of weeks. He has 5 total touchdowns in their last 2 games. But they have scored 2 touchdowns or less in 7 of their last 11, which is a tough number, especially going up against a good defense. Their defense also averages 22.1 points per game. I don't see the Eagles getting quite to that this week, especially with the way their offense has struggled. So you have 2 offenses that are kind of in a struggle, so to speak, going up against 2 very solid defenses in terms of what they allow in points per game. With a line at 46, we just don't see that happening. So again, we are taking the under this week. And that concludes our Week 12 free premium picks. Last week we went 2-1. This week I think we can go 3-0. The one we missed last week did go over by 1 point and we took the under, so that's where we missed. This close to perfect. I think we can do it this week. If you use these bets and you hit, we'd love to hear from you. Also, be sure to check us out on all social media platforms: Facebook, Reddit, Instagram, TikTok. Be sure to find us on YouTube as you already have. Hit the like and subscribe button to stay tuned for more episodes. And be sure to go over to the website parlaybuddy.com and check out all of the great content we have there. I'm your host, Malachi David. Until next week, have a good one.